Hello, everyone. On today's podcast, I'm going to talk about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I don't really like talking about, death and politics, but I guess I'll talk, touch up on it today because there's not much to talk about, and I feel like I should talk about it. So what I was so I usually scroll on TikTok and sometimes Instagram, and for the past year, I've been finding out that I've been hearing that some people keep saying that Donald Trump is the one responsible for the death of Charlie Kirk, and I just can't believe it. You know, rest in peace. But I just can't believe that Donald Trump would be the one responsible for Charlie Kirk. You know why? Because I'm not saying that he can't be. There's always a possibility for him to do it, but I feel like there's no motive there. And if there is a motive, why would Donald Trump kill Charlie Kirk so openly? Think about it. If Donald Trump wanted to kill someone with the amount of power that he has, right, as the president of the United States, don't you think he could have killed them, silently? You know, he could have used any reason, threat of national security, threat of this, threat of that, to have the CIA or FBI, whichever one, is responsible for that, or even the military, because, the military, they're at his beck and call anyways. Assassinate him. That's what they're good at. And assassination is, I'm not talking about assassination with guns and bullets. I mean, assassination with, poisons, toxins. There's so many ways to kill people that killing them publicly like that makes no logical sense. If you wanted to get away with it, right? If Charlie Kirk was a political rival and he really wanted to get away with it, someone like Charlie Kirk who wasn't really that famous. Charlie Kirk to me only became famous after he died, and that's the problem I'm trying to say. Killing him so publicly would have only made him famous. Will only draw the public's eye to him. People that don't know about Charlie Kirk will start to recognize who he is, and investigations will have to go through to make sure they find the culprit of his death. So, as a president of the United States with so much power, with so many ways to kill people, why would he go out of his way to hire a random stranger? Well, not a random stranger. Why would he go out of his way to hire Charlie Kirk's shooter, right? And then kill Charlie Kirk so openly at a rally? Think about it. If he killed him anywhere else, it may not have had that much of an impact. But at a public rally where everyone, is videotaping and watching it, the only time you kill someone, at public places is to someone if you can kill someone privately, right? Which we know Donald Trump can with his power. If someone with that much power who can kill someone privately doesn't kill them privately but kills them publicly, that means he's trying to make a public statement, right? He's protesting. It's a way to, it's like a public protest. You kill someone openly as a public protest. You see, to draw attention to the fact that you don't want the people that are protesting you or the people that are against you, right, to keep being against you. So use them as an example. You use one person as an example, but the person you expect Donald Trump to use an example shouldn't be Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk isn't famous enough. Charlie Kirk isn't popular. So I feel like there's no motive for Donald Trump to be killing Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk it wasn't really anyone, important from the point of view of Donald Trump. And I was watching the whole political, scene before Donald Trump was elected, and Charlie Kirk wasn't one of the people that was, it wasn't Donald Trump's opponent. during the whole presidential scene. So why would Donald Trump go out of his way to kill the tiniest random stranger who only goes around, he was only slightly famous because he was always around other famous people. He was always around, Charlie Kirk was always around, famous people, well-known people. That was the only reason why a few people actually knew Charlie Kirk. It was not because, he did something special. So why would Donald Trump, with so much power, not kill him, privately, but kill him publicly in such a way? Not to mention Charlie Kirk himself being, it's not like Charlie Kirk stole his wife. It's not like Charlie Kirk slept with his, girlfriend. There's no real political reason. There's no real reason why, why Donald Trump will go out of his way to kill Charlie Kirk. But I've heard people say it so much, they keep believing themselves that out of everyone that could kill Charlie Kirk, the likely person to kill Charlie Kirk, if you go through what do you call it? Most crime statistics is usually the people around him, his friends and family. Especially, so someone like his wife is more likely to kill Charlie Kirk than Donald Trump. Do you know why? Charlie Kirk's wife has a greater motive. And come to find out after Charlie Kirk's death that Charlie Kirk removed his wife from his will. So out of everyone who's gonna kill Charlie Kirk, who do you think is more likely to kill Charlie Kirk? Donald Trump, who's barely knows him. Maybe once in a while they interact with each other because Charlie Kirk knows his wife, or his wife who's always lives with him. Who they could be going through fights. The fact that Charlie Kirk removed his wife from his will should already tell you that they were going through conflicts in that relationship. If they were going through conflicts in that relationship, who do you think is more likely to kill Charlie Kirk? His wife or Donald Trump? Obviously, it would be his wife. But I'm not going to blame his wife either because who knows? As long as the evidence doesn't show that it's his wife, but I'm not going to say it's his wife. Anyone can do it. It could be it could be his own, rivals, people from his own, circle of friends, his own circle of influence. These are the people that are more likely to kill Charlie Kirk. Other public spokespeople, people that he has debated before in the past, that has pissed, that he pissed off. These are the people that are more likely to hire someone to kill Charlie Kirk. People that he deals with on a daily basis. The enemies that he deals with on a daily basis are the people that are, more likely to kill Charlie Kirk. Donald Trump, who's has so many people going against him. Charlie Kirk isn't the only person talking badly about Donald Trump. So many people are talking badly about Donald Trump. Old presidents are talking badly about Donald Trump's. Senators are talking badly about Donald Trump. There's so many senators, mayors, and governors talking badly about Donald Trump. If Donald Trump wants to make a public statement, right? He wants to assassinate someone publicly like that. Why would he choose Charlie Kirk, who no one knows, right? Who has no influence in the political scene whatsoever? Or wouldn't it be better for him to choose people like governors, senators, public figures, celebrities? Don't you think he should be going after celebrities, public figures, senators, mayors, governors? He's not going after any of those. These guys aren't being assassinated publicly. But Charlie Kirk, really? Out of everyone that pisses Donald Trump off, Charlie Kirk is the one he'll risk this much, public ire over, when the guy's barely famous, no one barely knows him. If Donald Trump really wanted to kill Charlie Kirk isn't even someone powerful. It's not like Donald Trump. This is the only chance to kill Charlie Kirk. They have to take it. Any other chances they can't. It's the opposite. This is the hardest chance for them to kill Charlie Kirk out of all the other chances they have as the president of the United States. You know why? Charlie Kirk doesn't have bodyguards with him. 99% of the time, Charlie Kirk is by himself and his family members. And the government has ways to track you. They can track you in so many ways. If Donald Trump really wanted to kill Charlie Kirk was an open book. He could have killed Charlie Kirk anywhere else easily. He could hire any hitman off the internet. There's so many people off the dark web that can kill Charlie Kirk. And this is just the dark web. The military, CIA, FBI, just the regular cops. These are people this guy can, that are at his beck and call. That can easily just come and kill Charlie Kirk for him. They can find some, you don't know how many people, how many thugs, how many gangs that Donald Trump, is in connection with, that he can just tell them, hey, I want this guy removed. He doesn't have to go through the military. He doesn't have to go through CIA. He doesn't have to go through FBI. The amount of power that Donald Trump has, there's so many people bootlicking him right now as the president of the United States. There's so many cartel members, cartel kingpins, gangs, mobsters that are, at his beck and call that he can literally just talk on the phone with. And they can have Charlie Kirk tracked and killed. It's not like this guy was, in some sort of secret protection program. The government wasn't, trying to protect him. It's not someone that the government was trying to protect. So this guy was like, anyone could just come and kill that guy, and on every day of the week. As long as they know how to track him, anyone could come to kill him. So why would Donald Trump, out of all the days that he could kill Charlie Kirk, why would he kill him at a public rally using a random stranger when there's so many different poisons in this world that can be used to kill Charlie Kirk silently? You would think Charlie Kirk died through overdose. There's so many poisons you can use to kill Charlie Kirk. There's radon gases. There's so many toxic. I've watched many news articles where neighbors kill their neighbors using gases, and it's so easy for them to do it. I'm always surprised how easy it is for these guys to kill people, because all they do is spray the toxic gas, try to get some sort of funnel or some sort of straw, right, and then they stick the straw in between the doors of the neighbor's house. And poke the straw inside the neighbor's house, right? They poke the straw inside the neighbor's house and just spray some sort of chemicals inside the house. Within a week of doing that, the neighbor dies. That is how quickly, how easy it is to kill. The whole family dies. The whole family that lives in that house dies within a week. That is how quickly it is to kill someone. Some of them, they die within the same day. So if the government really wanted to kill Charlie Kirk, they could have Charlie Kirk assassinated so easily. There's so many poisons in this world. There's so many toxins. There's so many chemicals, that have been invented, secretly, especially when the government has so much power and money to be researching these toxins and chemicals. Do you think the government only researches, weapons like guns, knives, bombs? No. They, in order to kill people effectively, they have to try all options. They have to research all options. And poisons are there, right? Poisons are the ones, you give them, they swallow it, and then they die. Then the toxins are the ones that, you spray in the immediate area, or you spray on their faces, or you spray in the cloth, and they use it to touch your faces. I've heard so many news articles of people dying all over the world with that one. I think Kim Jong-un's brother died from that. He was going through. He was walking at an airport, and a bunch of ladies just came, like 2 or 3 ladies just came and just covered his face with a towel, and then ran away. And he died just like that. Within 24 hours, he died just like that. So if they really wanted to kill Charlie Kirk, if Donald Trump really wanted to kill Charlie Kirk, do you think he won't, and want, silently without it being known? Because as long as when someone dies, as long as people don't think they die maliciously, the doctors will not go through, a detailed autopsy. Sometimes the doctor will never go through any autopsy at all whatsoever. They'll just think he died of a heart attack, right? And that's common. As long as people don't think you died, someone killed you, your parents and family members may not really want you to, go through an autopsy. So do you know how many people have been killed, assassinated, and people think they just died from suicide, or they just died from drug overdose, or they just died from this, or they just died from that, without ever thinking they died because someone assassinated them? Does it ever cross your mind how easy it is for Donald Trump to kill someone if he really wanted to, without everyone ever realizing that he actually killed someone? Because there's so many different poisons in this world. There's so many poisons and toxins that even with an autopsy, it's hard to tell that the person died because someone poisoned them. Some of these mushrooms are capable of doing that. Some of these mushrooms, some of these meats, some of these foods are actually capable of killing you without you realizing that you were killed through poison or through, a poisoned food. So if Donald Trump really wanted to kill someone as the president of the United States, with the amount of power that he has, and he has a lot of power because it was related to Jeffrey Epstein, and that guy had a lot of power. Jeffrey Epstein may not be the only person that he's related to. He could be, he could know a lot more, powerful people through Jeffrey Epstein, or maybe he was the one who connects Jeffrey Epstein to these powerful people. You may never know, someone this powerful. If you really wanted to assassinate someone, if you really wanted to make a public statement, why would he make a public statement using Charlie Kirk? Out of everybody in the world, why would it be the tiny little Charlie Kirk instead of, the governor of California, instead of the governor of New York right now, instead of all these senators that have always gone against him? They've always mocked him publicly. Every time he opens his mouth, there's a senator shaming him. There's a senator mocking him. There's a senator insulting him. There's a celebrity mocking him. There's a celebrity insulting him. There's a celebrity shaming him. There's a governor laughing at him. There's a mayor laughing at him. There's so many powerful people mocking him all the time. If you wanted to kill someone, why isn't killing all these people that have been mocking him for decades now? All these powerful people that have been insulting for years. Not many of them have that many, bodyguards around them. That's why, the senators are getting killed, senators may not, may have bodyguards around them, but there's so many ways to kill people, man. If the guy really wanted to make a public statement, didn't you, when he was running for presidency, wasn't he, almost assassinated? That is how easy it is to kill someone. If you really want to, if you actually made that determination. And these are, and he was already an ex-president who had, protection from the state, man. He had protection from the government itself, and yet he was almost assassinated right there in the public eye. If he really wanted to assassinate someone, why didn't he, assassinate? If he wanted to publicly assassinate someone, why didn't he publicly assassinate, people like governors, senators, mayors, celebrities that have been mocking him for years, for decades now, that have been, trying to dig up his past to get him arrested. There's so many people trying to dig up his past to get him arrested, to get him impeached. You think he'll go after the big guys, right? No. I'm being told he's going after the little guy. He's ignoring the big guys that he can easily kill, right, to make a public statement. And he's going after Charlie Kirk, someone that, 99% of the world doesn't even know. 99% of the country doesn't even know. The only people that know him are the few people in his own sphere of influence. The small amount of people around him that, that's all he knows, He wasn't that famous to begin with. He's still not that famous. Most people only know that he died. They don't even know why he died. They don't even know who he was before he died. They just know that Charlie Kirk died. That's all. They don't know he was. Even I don't know what he really did. So why would the president of the United States go after someone that small? And if he wanted to go after someone that small, why would he do it with a random guy who could write him out easily? Why wouldn't he use a different method, a more thorough method, a method that makes it seem like an accident, a method that makes it seem like he died on overdose, a method that makes it seem he just died because he had a heart problem, he had a kidney problem, he had a lung problem, he had this problem, he had that problem, he had this medical issue that nobody paid attention to until he died. There's so many ways that Donald Trump could make someone die, that just shooting him isn't, especially when he wasn't famous, it doesn't make sense why he would choose to shoot him when, that will only make things worse. If he wanted to make a public statement and shoot someone, right? If Donald Trump wanted to make a public statement and shoot someone, don't you think he would pick someone more powerful, more famous? If the death of Charlie Kirk already had such a large impact, don't you think the death of a mayor, the death of a governor, or the death of a female celebrity or ex-president will have an even larger, even greater impact in the United States, or even greater impact and get his point across that if anyone offends him, he will kill them? If he wanted to make that public statement to let everybody know that if you offend me, I'll kill you, why would he kill Charlie Kirk when he could kill the governors of the governors that have been pissing him off for years now, the senators that have been pissing him off for years? These are the people he needs to start killing. If he wanted to kill someone to make a public statement, senators are the people, political rivals, political figures, the people that fund these political figures. These are the people he should have been going after, not Charlie Kirk. So it doesn't really make sense why I keep hearing it, but I just decided to add my 2 cents to it. If you still believe that Charlie Kirk was killed by Donald Trump, go ahead. I don't really believe it. I can never believe it. If you told me it was killed by his own wife, I could probably say, I can understand why, because hey, that's his wife. I've heard way too many stories of wives, planning the assassination of their husbands, especially when, Charlie Kirk was removed his wife from his will just a few months or a few weeks before he was assassinated. That tells you, what that tells you? It tells you he wanted to get a divorce. The fact that he removed his wife from his will tells you he wanted to get a divorce. And maybe his wife doesn't want him to get a divorce, So she plotted his death, but I still don't think it's his wife, As long as the government doesn't go that way, as long as the government doesn't, tell me. I don't believe anything the government says, but as long as, after all the research the government does, after all the evidence finding, investigations, if they don't connect, if the shooter isn't connected to his wife in any way, shape, or form, they aren't related in any way, they aren't friends, and the shooter itself doesn't come out and say it's his wife, I'd rather not believe it's his wife, But I do know that just from the fact that Charlie Kirk removed her from his will, that obviously Charlie Kirk wanted a divorce in some way, or wanted to leave her in some way, So obviously, she's more likely a candidate than Donald Trump, who had no idea, who barely know the guy, They're more like acquaintances that he meets like once every few years, once every few months. It's not someone, he's losing sleep over. But I won't blame the wife, because who knows, it may not be her fault. There's a high chance it's not, There have been stories of wives killing their husbands a lot. There's also, I've also read a statistics that showed that most pregnancies, most women who die from pregnancies are killed by their spouses, So relationships are, catastrophic when when a relationship is bad, When you enter a bad relationship, anything can happen. So there's a lot could be happening behind the scenes. And I'd rather just accept the fact that it was just a random stranger who didn't like Charlie Kirk, which is also very likely. Public spokespeople always have to deal with people who don't like them. There are a lot of extremely arrogant people, extremely controlling people who will try to kill you if you don't do what they tell you. If you end up meeting someone like that, you end up speaking against someone who has that strong desire to control and dominate. If you don't do what I tell you, I'll just kill you outright. People like that will always stalk you as a public spokesperson. You say something they don't like, they'll try to kill you for it because you don't say you're not doing what I want you to do. And if you're not doing what I want you to do, I'll just kill you. So I actually believe that as well. That some random stranger who is very controlling, very manipulative, very arrogant, believes that Charlie Kirk needed to do whatever he wanted him to do. And Charlie Kirk was going against what he believed. And he didn't like Charlie Kirk going against what he believed. And since he didn't like Charlie Kirk going against what he believed, he's gonna kill Charlie Kirk for it. So there's also those people. That's what you have to deal with. As a famous celebrity, as someone who's famous, you always have to deal with that person that's very controlling, that very controlling and manipulative person and violent person. These guys always try to control celebrities. And if the celebrity doesn't want to do what they want, guess what happens? They try to stalk and kill the celebrities. Do you know how many celebrities have died from their fans that have that mindset? That a celebrity is there to do what they want them to do. Many celebrities think, your fans like you because your fans like you, they'll let you do whatever you want. You're wrong. Some fans are very, very controlling. And, having to deal with controlling fans is something that celebrities have to deal with, It's something that they always have to watch out for. Is that very controlling fan who wants you to do whatever he wants, who wants you to be where he wants. If he's having a party, right, and he invites you, you say no. Now he wants to kill you because you didn't listen to him. You see? These people exist in this world. And the more famous you are, the more of them pay attention to you. The more fans you draw to you, there's a likelihood that you're drawing more of those extremely controlling and violent individuals that believe they always should get away, they should always get their way. If they don't get their way, they're going to kill you. That's what you have to deal with as a celebrity, is people who feel like killing you the moment you don't listen to what they want to do. The moment you do what they want you to do, they will try to kill you. Whether they have, millions of dollars in the bank account, billions of dollars in the bank account, or just $10 in the bank account, they will find a way to try to kill you. The billionaires may kill you easier because they have more connections, while the ones that only have like $100, $200 in the bank account is enough to get them like a cheap gun. Get a cheap gun, beg their friends and family members to buy them a ticket to your show, and then kill you there. Get a cheap. They don't have to buy a gun. They can just beg their friends, their family, for the gun that they have at home, and then beg them for money as well, and then come to your doorstep and try to kill you, just because you didn't listen to them, just because you weren't their pet, you weren't at their beck and call, you weren't their little toy they can play with. These people exist. There are many people who believe celebrities should be their toys, their little playthings. And if you don't want to play that game with them, you don't want to be the plaything of your fans, of every lunatic fan that thinks they can control you. Guess what? They'll be trying to kill you every single day of your life. You may not even know that there are many people trying to kill you. As a celebrity, you may not even know there's at least 10 or 20 people right now trying to kill you because you didn't answer the message you want on your Instagram or Facebook or wherever they found you, and you didn't answer them. Now they want to kill you. Or you did answer them, you told them no. Now they want to kill you. They gave you an outlandish request and you told them no. Now they're looking for ways to kill you. and you don't even know they're looking for ways to kill you because you think they're just all my fans. Yes, they're your fans, but not all fans care about your life. The moment you don't do what your fans tell you to do, many fans, there's so many fans out there. It may not be all of them. Many fans will just say, yeah, you know, it's okay because, you're a busy person. Maybe next time, It's fine that you declined. Maybe next time. It's fine that you're talking about this person that I don't like you talking about, but I'm still a fan anyways because I like your stuff. I like what you do. Then there's those fans that the moment you decline them, they're so controlling that the moment you say no to them, it's mind altering. It's a moment of extreme anger for them. It's a moment when they decide, okay, since you're no longer going to do what I want you to do as my plaything, I'm going to kill you now. You no longer serve a purpose in this world. Since you no longer serve a purpose in this world, I'll kill you for it. So this is what you have to deal with as a celebrity. There will always be those extremely controlling people that if you don't listen to them, they will try to kill you in every way, shape, or form. Any chance they can get, any chance they see you, they'll try to kill you for it because you didn't listen to them. You didn't do what they wanted you to do. So, I believe Charlie Kirk was assassinated by someone like that, an extremely controlling lunatic who believed the world should go exactly the way he wanted it to go. And if it doesn't go the way he wants it to go, he will start destroying and breaking things. That's the person that killed Charlie Kirk. And that's the person that's always hunting. I mean, that type of person's always hunting celebrities. They're always looking for celebrities to kill. So as a celebrity, you have to be careful, with letting people know if you ever, if you're a celebrity, letting people know where you're at. If you're doing lives, can be very dangerous for you because these guys exist, and and they could be guys, they could be girls. They exist in this world that are just waiting to kill you because you're not doing what they want you to do. They're your fans, but they're only your fans if you do what they want you to do. If you don't do what they want you to do, now they're your killers, now they're your hunters. So as a celebrity, you have to know there are a lot of hunters out there who you've pissed off in the past, or who you're pissing off right now because you're not responding to them. You're not doing what they want you to do. You're not paying attention to them. You didn't give them what they wanted. They wanted 10, like if you're a musician, they wanted you to sing this type of song, but you're not singing this type of song. You're singing that type of song. You've changed the way you make music, or you're not singing the same songs over and over again, using different lyrics like they want you to. There's so many reasons why someone wants to kill you, and it can be something as simple as you didn't make a song quick enough. They wanted you to make a song before their birthday, but you made it after their birthday. That's enough for a controlling lunatic to want to hunt you down for the rest of their lives. It's enough. That simple problem is enough for them to try to kill you. So as a celebrity, you have to be careful. You have to know that not all your fans are kind. Many of them are very controlling, and not all the controlling fans are killers. But you have to know that out of all those many controlling people, there's a few of them that are so controlling that they'd rather just kill you than let you live on. And things like you don't want to be the next Charlie Kirk because you're not bowing down to your fans. You're not bowing down to your enemies that want you to do what they want you to do 10 times over. They want you to be a puppet that dances on their string for the rest of your life. You don't want to be that person. If you don't want to be that person, you have to be careful who you hang around with. You have to be careful who you let know where you're at publicly at any point in time. If you're someone who likes to do live streams, you must never let people know where you're at. If you're someone who likes to do live events, you must always have bodyguards around you 24/7. You must have them go through like security checks to make sure they don't have weapons on them. Otherwise, your life's at risk. You may think all these fans are there to see you because they like you. Yes, they like you, but not all these fans care about your life. Some of these fans, the moment you piss them off, they can wait 10 to 20 years for the right opportunity to kill you. You may think, oh, I've been going through all these public events and no one has killed me yet. it means no one's trying to kill you. You're wrong. You're wrong. Some of these people they don't have the means to get to your location, and you just happen to, and then this public event comes, and you just happen to be in their neighborhood, where they can easily come to your doorstep. When you're doing the public events, the other public events that you had in the past, you were somewhere else they can get to you, but now you're in their neighborhood, right there, an hour's drive away, or sometimes just 5 minutes drive away. Now they can easily, they can just easily just drive over and kill you. So as a public person, a public figure or a celebrity, you have to really be careful. These people exist, and they're always there, hidden in the dark, trying to kill you. But that's it for this episode. I'll talk to you guys later.